A new study from Harvard says chores are good for kids. Well, I don't think that comes as a surprise to many of us that grew up with our daily and weekly assignments, but somewhere along the way, chores fell out of parenting fashion. So I spoke with parenting pundit Julie Cole about this Harvard survey that didn't surprise many of us Gen-Xers.
You know, it's fair to say, wow, this is not shocking for some of us who were raised with chores, because you can understand the benefits, and they are finding that children who do chores have much more success later in life, not just emotionally and socially, but also professionally. And it makes sense because what you learn is to do teamwork and to contribute. And there's a lot of good feelings that come when you contribute and make an effort and are a part of something bigger. And that brings on self-confidence, which also is an indicator to future success. So, you know, to your point, it's interesting that we know that this contributes to success, and yet 82% of folks like our age, Jason, did chores, but less than 30% of kids today are doing chores. So it's interesting that it's so the decline has happened, even though we know through this study, which has been ongoing, that it's so good for kids.
So why is that though, Julie? Because that is really the more surprising note out of this study for me.
Yeah.
Why have chores been on the decline? Like, have they been seen to be bad somehow, or are parents just too lazy to say, hey, kids, go do this, and they just do that themselves? Like, what's the
I
rationale?
know. I know. There's a couple of things at play here. I think we are too nice. I
Hmm.
think we see chores as something that is like punishment, and it's not. It's just a family activity. It's something that has to happen. I think also parents think a lot about resume building. So they think, oh, I'll put my kid in rep hockey or I'll let them do competitive dance, where interestingly, they're going to be more successful if they're doing chores than any of these other activities. So I think us being too nice and seeing it as something that isn't fun and kind of spoiling our kids, and also just not seeing it as a priority.
So, Julie, you mentioned right there seeing it as a bit of a punishment is what chores can be, but you want to kind of flip the script on that because chores should be, or how do you make them a positive experience is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
ask.
I think, you know, nobody's going to be toxically positive about scrubbing the floors, right? Like nobody loves that. But I think parenting is always this role modeling game. You know, you've got to get this stuff done. So how about Saturday mornings, guys? We throw the tunes on, everybody pick their two chores and let's go, you know, let's do this. And I think it's okay to have your daily chores, like making your bed, and then your weekly chores, like maybe that's cleaning the bathrooms and that sort of thing. So make it fun, get the tunes cranked, and don't make it a punishment. Don't, if a child misbehaves, give them a chore to do, and also don't tie it to money. It's okay for kids to have an allowance so they can learn to use finances and manage their finances, but don't attach it to money because it's just something that has to get done.